This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian.
Mission 215.
Welcome to this podcast. We do movies and sometimes they're about World War II. I'm one of your hosts, Denny.
That was good. I like that.
And you guys, who the hell are you guys?
John.
Trying to get through this one as fast as possible. All right, so we watch the best movies of all time.
All right.
And this week we are watching the 2004 movie Downfall, directed by Oliver Hirschbiegel.
Yep. You ever wonder what was it like?
Did you? I don't think I ever have.
Yeah.
I had questions, and now they're answered.
Oh, good. So you did wonder. You were wondering. Like you're sitting there, you just
In history class, you're like, oh,
well,
man.
maybe in history class. I'm just thinking, after you go out for pizza and you're all just wondering, what was
pizza,
I don't know.
right?
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I get most of my media through movies, and if they don't make a movie about it, I sometimes wonder, like, I wonder what they're not showing me in these types of things. Like, what is war really like? Because I don't think it's like Saving Private Ryan. I don't think it's like most
I
of the war
definitely
movies.
think it's like Saving Private Ryan.
I mean, Matt Damon is
just
there
like,
at the very least.
He's there every time, every war. He's there
You're
every
also
war.
dirty and pretty.
Yeah.
All at the same time. You don't really smell either because
Oh, you look like you smell good too, actually.
Yeah, probably.
yeah, ripe, but in a good way.
Yes. Traudl Junge, I don't know how to pronounce any of these words, the final secretary for Adolf Hitler, tells of the Nazi dictator's final days in his Berlin bunker at the end of World War II. And it's TC's turn this week.
That's right.
That's right.
It is my turn.
You promised Hitler jokes, TC. What do you
So
got?
I tried.
Oh, really?
I mean, I sat there and I tried. I couldn't pull anything out of my ass because nothing I found in this movie was funny. So I was having a hard time writing any jokes.
No comedic moments whatsoever.
It was nothing but downer. I mean, Downfall should just be down. It should just be down all the way, right? Because you're just depressed.
They should have just thrown in the sort of like, the comedic character, one of them. Yeah.
No, I mean, like the only thing I had,
fun.
I was grasping at straws. I'm like, was Goebbels really that ugly? I mean,
Dude,
that's
look
like
up pictures. They all look almost the exact same as the.
But
in
I'm
this
like,
movie.
I'm making fun of the actor. That's what I realized. I'm
Goebbels,
scratching shit out. Like, this isn't funny. This isn't about the Germans. This is about the actor. This isn't good.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This movie was not an easy one to watch at all. And I don't have any sympathy for the Germans. So I'm like, I'm not sure what they're trying to get me to do here, but I don't care. I was sitting there like, the only people I felt bad for were the kids.
Yep.
That's it.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, I just felt bad for the kids. I mean, through every single shot there was, the only time I felt bad was when kids were involved. Other than that, I mean, when the women were involved that are all complicit, I'm like, fuck them, kill them.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, literally, I was just like, I don't care about any of these people, and I don't give a shit how upset Hitler was or crazy. I don't care if he's crazy. We all knew he was crazy, but I don't need to feel sympathy for him being crazy.
That's what they're trying to do, though, right? They're trying to make you feel sympathetic towards Hitler.
I don't like, I almost wish this was an American movie. Because, knowing it was German as, like, the primary language and where the original language, I'm like, is there an agenda here? Is there some sort of, there's like some kind of thing they're trying to make it seem like, hey, we're not that bad. We just, don't like Jews, but hey, we're all right. We like pizza. We like, stuff. We drink beer. Like, we're normal people. We might poison our kids if stuff goes, south. But hey, no biggie.
That's part of what they're trying to get at, and that's why there was a pretty mixed response when this movie came out, and it's very easy to kind of toe the line of whether or not it's good or bad to show things like they do in this movie, but we can talk about that when it comes to the director's commentary
That's
stuff.
fair. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, certainly Hitler had his, people liked him. He wasn't,
he was popular. And people died for him.
He was popular. Yeah, people really admired him, and they're showing some of that too. And I think that's not unrealistic.
But I don't need to watch it.
Sure.
I don't know. I disagree with that. I feel like everyone should watch this. I mean,
no. I meant like as far as like Pole media is concerned, like I don't like this would have been better off in like if I had learned about it in like a class. But they don't teach you this story.
Yeah, they don't. But so I'll say in the first place, like this movie for any non-documentary movie we've ever watched or I've watched ever, this is the most true to exactly as things went down as any movie I've ever seen, at least according to the multiple sources the director references. Yeah. There's only one character in this entire movie that didn't exist in real life. Every other person was real, had those conversations, had those interactions at that time.
Is it the little boy?
It was a little boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Which little boy? Which one?
The one who survived at the end and kind of rode off on the bike with the main secretary.
Got it.
He was not a real character, but every single other person was real.
Damn.
Including like the other kids that like killed themselves. Those people are real.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
So
I guess what I was getting at was more like, I'm not watching a movie to learn as much as I guess maybe you are, but
I'm not either, and that's a
I
problem because
didn't-
it's definitely not entertaining.
No, this was not an entertaining movie at all. It was just kind of sit there with your mouth open, like, really?
Yeah, this was engaging.
It, huh?
I don't know.
It was engaging. It was. I was
Yeah.
definitely. I watched it all the way through. I didn't take any breaks. I
Yeah.
didn't fall asleep. I watched it in one sitting. But
Nikki had no desire to watch it, and she stuck with it.
I
at
mean,
least the first night.
it's
the
got
first
some
half,
heavy
because it
shit.
was- yeah.
The first night? What do you mean? You watched it in half
Well,
time?
like we watched. Yeah. It's a
Halftime.
2-hour movie. Come on.
Yeah.
Halftime.
2.5.
So yeah, the
Two and
first,
a half
first
time.
hour, 2.5. Yeah. So like we watched like the first half the one night, and then the second night she was doing some kids stuff. So I got to go watch the rest of and it's like,
Lucky
we know
you.
it just got worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it did just get
I mean,
worse.
we know it's just worse and worse in terms of
Was
what
she like,
happens,
what
and
happened
so
at
it's
the
like,
end, John?
Well,
What happened to Hitler?
All the little children got
wuss.
free.
Yeah, free to
They
heaven.
all escaped. Yeah. They all
Quote,
went in the
unquote,
temple.
free.
All the little
Yeah.
kids were good.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happened to little kids.
the only time I kind of liked the movie was when they were just portraying him as like a fucking feeble little idiot that didn't know shit
Yeah.
and was just playing war and just dumb.
That was
Realistically,
most
what
of
I
it,
was,
wasn't it?
but I mean, it just didn't. Sometimes it didn't seem like that. No, sometimes it seemed like they were trying to be like, no, but he was very powerful. Look at all these people; they fucking loved him.
That's what happened, though.
But yeah.
Either way, doesn't matter. I don't
Yeah.
want to fucking, I mean, it just was nice to see them being like at the end when some of them were starting to realize, hey, this is
Well,
fucking dumb.
that was
know?
or like, oh man, he's lost it, or he
He's
doesn't really
out
know
of
the
his
situation.
fucking mind. Yeah, he won't
Yeah.
even accept the fact that
Are
we're
you gonna
fucked.
tell him? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
tell him.
Yeah,
They'll shoot
exactly,
me. I don't
John.
want to die. Jesus.
Yeah.
Right, right. Imagine.
Although
Oh.
none of them seem to be that afraid of death since they all kill themselves for no freaking reason towards the end.
Well, that's a good point,
Well,
Denny. Right? Like
I,
they kept arguing as if like I'll die for this. I don't give a shit. So like,
Yeah.
why not just stand up for it then and tell these people that they're wrong? I mean,
Right, like
that-
we have the one character that I remember from Come and See, right? The Nazi there who was all defiant and belligerent.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. But partially too. I mean, there was a lot of reason that they weren't going to be treated too well by the Russians once they got there.
right.
So I mean, they could at least try to escape, I guess. But and a lot of them were trying to do it, and except for some of them, Hitler refused to allow them to go escape, like hand grenade guy.
Ugh. So
What
I
a
thought that was
fucking-
confusing because I thought he wasn't allowed to go back to see his family.
Oh, you're right. Well, I think he was trying to say he was saying my family, like I want to get out of here and I want to get my family out of here.
I thought he was like,
that's
I
what
want to go
trying-
see my family. They're somewhere
yeah,
else.
that's what I thought. I interpreted that as such too during that line. But then you see that
And you see him.
he's
Why'd
there
you put
with
your
them,
Sunday
and he's
suit
like,
on, Dad? Don't worry, child. I'm just gonna blow
It's
us
all good.
fuck into the
Let's
space.
eat our soup. We're just all going to get blown up. Hey, if you are going to kill everybody, at least nice to not have them know it. I
Hey,
guess.
and also, is there a better way to die than not seeing it and have a mouthful of broccoli? That's pretty good.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this one was not a fun watch in any,
Nope.
Any means. It's just difficult. And some of the war stuff was like, all right. I mean, it's just like a war movie for a few minutes. And
It is.
I don't know. I could have done without it.
It's not very instructional. I mean, which I don't. Again, it does what it tries to do. But I'm not learning. I don't know any of these people hardly. I mean, I know some of them from what little I know of Nazi history, but
Goebbels
So
and
if
Himmler
you-
and
Yeah,
Hitler.
Yeah, I
that's
know
about
those
it.
too. That's about
yeah,
it.
they're not like
Yeah,
telling
right.
you anything about these people, which is fine. I mean, that's not the point of the movie. But in the
Other
sense
than that
it's
they're
like,
cowards. That's
Yeah,
about
but
all I learned.
otherwise, it's like, oh god,
I knew
I mean,
that.
there's just so many Germans coming and going.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't- I know that they're all
Albert
bad,
Speer.
and some are worse than others.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah.
And there was even the part at the end where they're showing the faces of the people in the movie we just watched, and they're like, they were executed at the Nuremberg trials. I'm like, I don't
And I was
remember
like,
them.
cool.
Yeah, and I was like, who were they in the movie? I don't
Yeah.
even remember seeing those people.
yeah, it was tough.
Yeah,
It-
they
it
should have
was-
put up a face or something instead
Yeah.
of just the
And,
text.
and it
huh?
might have been, again, for people who study this, or even maybe more people in Germany, these names are far more well known too. So
Ugh.
it's like the roles that they played and the awful things they did are far more well known.
So, Germany.
Goebbels
Not
is,
so sold on
I
that
just know
place.
he was terrible. He was this really, really awful and in a sea of awfulness.
Yeah, and they made him look like a weak little man. He couldn't even kill the kids himself. If you're going to be that psychopath, fucking do it. Follow it through.
Yeah, I don't know. He was supposed to be a good speaker, though. He was very persuasive, apparently. So I didn't really show him doing much of that.
Except for at the end when he was dictating the little letter or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's do it differently. That's almost French. I don't know what. I can't even do a German
You can't
accent.
do it.
It's so difficult. I can't do it. That's the one thing
Yeah.
I cannot fucking. I don't know.
I just do
Anyway.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get in the chopper. It's kind of German.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I was getting there.
okay.
Yeah.
There you
You
go.
got to get angry. It's got to sound.
It's gotta be
angry.
loud.
and then
That's
you
true.
can, and then loud. Yeah, right. You can't just be like a little bit. Nope. See, nothing. I got nothing. I got to go all full tilt. I mean, honestly, it's not exactly the most fun language to listen to. Either.
I like
you know,
it.
like French. I think French, like, it sounds like very, sounds very nice. It's like, and then there's English, and we got these assholes from Boston. Fuck yeah, everyone's got
Yeah,
like a
right.
little thing. But like the German language, it just has such a different like feel to it when they speak. Even in the movie, that's all I kept thinking about. Right? Like it's just like the consonants are just so. It's like
Yeah, but it's
drills in your
at
face.
least
For
for movies with
crazy.
Nazis in it, it makes them seem extra scary the way they
It really
speak
does. Yeah, I would equate that to like, I don't know if you've ever heard like when people are angry in Vietnamese, it sounds fucking like I'm scared shitless. And they're probably just
Really?
being like, hey, how you doing? But like, sounds crazy. But
Yeah.
that's because I'm an uncultured, American that doesn't know any other language than English. But
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Of course.
right?
Yeah. I can't imagine what loud Americans sound like to
Oh,
others.
God.
gosh.
It's fucking annoying.
Yeah,
is probably
probably
what I would
annoying.
sound like. Yeah, right. So, I mean, I don't know. I think this movie, like you said, Denny, I'm in agreement with you that it's an important movie because in the sense, like, I never knew all of the nuances of the story. I didn't know they were burned. I didn't know they shot themselves that. Like, I just honestly didn't.
Yeah.
I don't care to know these things because I just disliked the whole story. So I shut down, ignore, don't want to know. So in that regard, I guess it is good that I watched this movie. And John, I do agree with you. It was engaging because clearly I watched the whole thing, right? And that's
Right.
strange for me.
2 hours, 36
So,
minutes. That's a long time.
Yeah, and I sat there in the living room and I just kept toking away at the bowl and drinking some more beer. Like, when is
Ooh,
this
wow.
gonna calm down, man? I need this to calm down. But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much all I got. I barely watched it for anything technical. I don't know why. I guess I just wasn't paying attention.
There's
I
not
don't
much
remember
there,
anything,
really.
so.
No, it was all very competently done for sure. Right?
Yes.
I mean,
Right.
certainly nothing took you out of it.
Right. That's right.
Except for that scene where Johnny Depp comes in with that weird hat and starts dancing and singing like directly at the camera.
That's
Yeah.
they were told to liven it up. So yeah, they brought Jack Sparrow in. Whoa.
Hey, everybody. He's speaking English. All of a sudden, you're like, what is going on
What's up,
here?
me Nazi Hardies?
Now, I wish that would have happened because then I would have really
Oh,
had
man.
a little bit of a reprieve from such
Oh,
stress.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see, everybody's a little depressed here. What's wrong there? What's the matter? What's wrong with your hand back there? What's your behind it back there? What's
Hey.
going on there?
Hey, what's up with the little thing you keep putting in the kids' mouths? Is that
Yeah,
poison?
it's like,
Vitamins?
Is
What
it
are
a
we
rum
doing
pill?
here?
Can I try one?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
John, what do you think about this one?
The TC summed up a lot of it. Again, yeah, very competently. I mean, it's very well made, very engaging. I thought too. I was watching it and just was sucked into it, and that's that's a great thing for any movie to do, to just sort of try to put you there in that place, to kind of give you the sense of what it was like being there, and that's a very impressive feat. And I think it would have been really easy to go over the top with all of this stuff, and they didn't. It's very easy to vilify all these people, and rightfully so. But I thought the tone was measured, and again, maybe we can talk about the reactions to it. But it's I think trying to give see what the perspective was, because I think it's a real stretch if you're trying to say in any way this makes the Nazis look good. But at least from my impression seeing it. And I think the focus on the secretary was good. It gave and her quotes, they wrap it up sort of perfectly with her expressing in real life, expressing her regret and understanding that there's no excuse for being ignorant of it. And that's all rather, I think they were directly trying to address those sorts of criticism. Apparently looking up to see if there's very little that's not historically accurate as far as the sources, as far as what sources they have, and they have numerous sources of
The only things that are up in the
eyewitnesses and
air
like.
is that they don't know exactly how Hitler killed himself. They know that he shot himself in the
Right.
head and put the pill in his mouth. They don't know how long the Like, this is how small the details are. They don't know the time
Right.
period between
Exactly.
those two. They don't know
So
exactly how Goebbels and his wife shot each other, even though they went,
Right.
they both killed each other. And
Right.
one of the other things was that when the secretary and the little boy, who's like the one character who doesn't exist at the end, ride
Right.
his bike away, the secretary actually escapes with 2 other secretaries.
Oh, well, and also
Oh,
the secretary was captured by the Russians and raped.
Oh, no.
I didn't
Yeah.
hear that.
Jesus.
Yeah. I think that's what I saw, that she was not treated well. I mean, she's eventually let go, and you see her there, but she was not treated well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad they skipped over that part because
Yeah, let's avoid that one, huh?
I was just reading in forums about that they probably did that out of respect for her because she was still alive at the time too.
Plus,
man.
also, you kind of need a happy ending with this
You
movie. At least
need
I
a little
want
bit
one.
of a they got out of there. And I think the other thing that people thought that they were doing, because a lot of this was filmed in Russia, that they didn't want to portray the Russians too badly.
Oh, well, I
But,
mean,
whatever.
duh.
I mean, if you're going to tell a true story, fuck you. Make the true story. Like, add
Well,
the
no.
rape in
We're
there.
talking about
Arguably,
Russia
yeah,
here,
there you
okay?
go, right?
Fuck that.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't know
No,
that.
no.
That's a little big to not put in there.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I
I don't know. I'm
should
kind of with John on
double-check
this one. I don't
the
know if
source
we
on
need
it, but from her, I mean, because she had her own memoir that this was partially based on.
Mhm.
At what point in the movie do you put that in? At the end?
At
of
the end.
fucking
At the
text?
end, yeah.
Dude,
In
you might as
text?
well. Just make it the darkest
Oh.
movie ever made.
But then all of a sudden the movie's over. Like, I mean, that's like something not part of the movie. That's
Well,
a tough
yeah.
ask, I think, to put at the end.
I mean,
That's
it
a
is
heavy-
also
I'd
kind
be
of
reading
weird.
that and be like, wait, go back. What? Right? Like,
And then credits?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I think it's also kind of
like-
weird. And it's necessary because the secretary wrote the book, but it's weird how the movie
Uh-huh.
focuses on the secretary because she's not that good of a character, I don't think. But
No,
Jeez,
but we
that's
don't
the
know.
only
We know her
way.
very little.
Right.
We know her very little. Yeah, there's very little
interesting.
that's told of her. That's a good point. I
That's
think
a-
it
yeah,
just
that is a good point.
you're what it allows you to do is have at least a slightly outside or perspective on it. You get to sort of like be with her by default. Not always. You're following other people around, but by default, there's a couple of different characters that were, like there's the doctor or her, and those were there to like sort of be able to try to have a little bit of a sort of outside perspective with that character, instead of, and that might be part of what makes the film sort of feel more engaging because you're kind of following along with them. So, but you're right, Danny. I mean, herself as a character, we don't really learn much about, right?
right.
We see her reactions to some things, but that's it.
And she doesn't even seem to know why she's doing things. So that's kind of confusing sometimes. And also, I thought she was the worst actor in the movie. I'm going to throw that out there.
And isn't this
really?
like one of her first? Because
man.
she's I thought she's pretty successful now. I think she's all over television.
Oh, really?
Well, I guess that's not really successful.
I get
Oh,
paid.
as an actress,
yeah, as an actor, I guess if you're trying to do film and you're on TV.
Hey, TV these days, that pays pretty well.
TV
doesn't it?
these days, I know. But yeah, she's been around the block now. I've seen her in a lot of shows. So
Alexandra Maria Lara.
yeah,
Oh,
little
she's
lazy
in,
eye there.
She's in that movie that you loved, Rush, John.
See, there you
She
go.
played
All right.
Lauda's wife, looks like.
Oh, she was good. And that she was good.
I don't remember her. in
Now
that
you
at all.
remember.
You're just making that
Sure,
up, John.
yeah.
You're just blindly defending Rush like you would.
Well, what are you gonna do, Denny?
Does the silence mean that's true?
Well, it's not. So I'm trying to read the wiki on
Oh,
her.
the silence meant he's ignoring the shit out of you,
Yeah,
Denny.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm just worried. I don't want to. I'm trying to. And the wiki here doesn't. It mentions that she didn't make it to the Allied lines, and she went back to Berlin and was captured and put in jails. But there's not mention of like rape or anything here either.
John's
just wanted
making
to
up
clear that up.
fucking shit.
Yeah, reading, just making sure that I don't know.
And what the
Anyway,
what
sorry.
the director said during the commentary too, during the scene where she makes the eye contact with the drunk Russian, is that there was a lot of rape as females were leaving like the German areas through the Russian lines. So that's why they wanted to put the eye contact in there to show the threat, but they didn't want to put it in the movie. And he didn't say anything about her as a character getting raped. So I feel like
Right,
he
so-
might have mentioned that if that actually happens.
Right,
But I'm not
maybe.
sure.
Yeah.
Boy. Well,
Oh boy.
sounds like we got some fact checking to do, folks.
But at the very least,
Yeah,
there was
sorry.
definite rape that was going on. If not her,
Yeah.
lots and
Yeah.
lots of other people. Because
I
this
mean,
entire
you
situation
know,
is fucked.
yeah, I'm
was-
just gonna say, like, we're talking about in comparison to murder here. So
Yeah.
it's a both shitty, no
Both
matter what
shitty.
you talk about.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Fucking
mean,
A, man.
would you recommend this movie to people?
No.
No? I think I
No, no.
might.
Nope. Not gonna happen.
I think I
Oh,
might.
hey, you
depending
want
on
to
the
feel
person.
bad about something for like 2.5 hours and waste your time at night? Yeah, sure. I know you're stressed. You want to do that? Now, cool. I got the movie for you. What do you think about Germans? You got to have like a whole pitch,
I think the idea of what this movie does is pretty cool because watching this movie, I had notes being like, I feel sympathy towards the Nazis, like in some of the scenes where you feel kind of bad for some of the characters for a short period of time before you realize who these, you remember what they're doing, and you have to kind of remember that. Like they're portrayed as just pretty normal people, and some of the conversations are like downright plain when they're talking about like cigarette types or like clothing or makeup or anything stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just the fact that they're doing that, and they're Nazis at the end of the war, and they're probably the most intense of the Nazis because they're the ones who made it to the end and are close to Hitler. It just makes them human in a way that is really weird to think about, because like they have kids, and it looks like until they're killing their kids, they're very nice to their kids. The kids look like they're having a great old time. Nothing seems that out of place. It's not like it's a dungeon for monsters or anything like that. It's just people at war, like they kind of seemed like any other group of people at war, even if, like we're like America, they pretty much could have been the American soldiers at war in the same situation, except for that they wanted to exterminate Jews. You know what I mean?
Right. But
Yeah.
that is, again,
That's a
there's
huge butt, but I mean,
it is, but they're going
That's a
along
pretty
with the
big
home team.
butt.
yeah.
Yes, but
I
they
gotta
are going
say.
along with the home team, and that's probably it wasn't. Yeah, Ian, you don't apologize for any of this stuff, but from their individual perspective, it's like those weren't their ideas. They're just going along with their country.
Yeah. And even like the
Right,
secretary
and-
seemed like she was surprised when she was dictating that letter from Hitler that said, he's like, I'll still be proud that I tried to exterminate the Jews or whatever. And she
Right.
looks up being like, what?
What?
Like, what
Yeah.
do you mean? What are you talking about? You don't know this is what they're doing? Like, did they?
Well, right.
See, I don't know
That's a
enough about
good
history
point.
to be like, now it's like, obviously they were killing Jews. And back then, people say that some of them didn't know. And some people say
Yeah.
those people are full of shit. But then maybe some of them didn't know. I don't fucking know. Not a
But then
historian.
that's what I would.
Again,
That's what I
according
would
to her,
argue.
she-
This movie isn't the thing that I would be telling people to watch to learn
Well,
about it.
Yeah,
Except
according
for
to
that
her,
everything
she
is
didn't know.
true, and you can like dive deep afterwards and use this as like a good baseline for
Yeah.
certain things.
Again,
maybe.
I'm not
No.
really trying to dive deep on a movie, so I'm not telling this to anybody.
Yeah.
I think anybody who is like who's fascinated by this sort of history, and there are lots of people that are interested in World War II and Hitler, that it's fascinating to watch, and it's a good
Yeah.
it's a well done film.
But I would assume that if
yeah.
you know this much about the history, you wouldn't need to watch this movie.
I don't know. This book is it's pulled from various sources.
Yeah.
So at the very least, even if you've read everything, you haven't seen it put together in like in a singular package like this, I guess, or at least as varied of a package. Like, you
Right.
have the story of the nice Nazi doctor. You know who I'm talking about? The bald guy who's like trying to do
Yep.
good.
That just stayed behind and did
Yeah.
his best.
That,
right.
that whole plot storyline was a separate story, and they just kind of latched it onto this movie. So that was like, one book is about him. So that plot line was one book. You have the secretary's point of view. That's one book. And then you have some other different, references and recordings. And I think there's a few other book references, but they kind of all stick together because they all took place at the same time. So even if you
Okay.
like knew everything, you wouldn't necessarily, even if you made it up in your head, this is kind of maybe a cool way for you
It's
to
an
like,
interesting narrative
yeah.
that associates with these different stories.
Yeah.
Again.
Right.
To me, that's, I don't know. It sounds like I'm
But
going to
they didn't
history
really
class.
focus. I mean, her perspective and story is interesting, but I agree, Denny, that we didn't focus on the secretaries. I mean, this idea that there's quotes here on the wiki from her that she's like, I was 22, I didn't know anything about politics, didn't interest me, and she
Was
said
she
I was
attracted to
fascinated
Hitler?
by Hitler. She said, I admit I was fascinated by Hitler. He was a
Fascinated.
pleasant boss and a fatherly friend. I deliberately ignored all the warning voices inside me and enjoyed the time by his side almost until the bitter end. It
Wow.
wasn't what he said, but the way he said things and how he did things. So
So, I feel like that, that's exactly what the people would say with Charles Manson. So,
sure.
I'm not
Well,
sure.
you
Yeah.
have people that are awful, but that doesn't mean they're not charismatic, or that does not mean like over and over. You've got ideas of you can come up with any cult leaders, and you can find people who have followers.
Right.
Hell, I mean, you can look at our present day situation and think about that.
Oh, really?
Good one,
You don't
John.
say.
Yeah,
Good one,
Yeah.
John.
but
Ding.
so and outside of that, you could sit there and wonder how the hell can you find this person in any way positive, and it's hard to understand it if you're outside of that, that if you're not taken in by it.
I think this movie makes it easier to understand, which is the scary part.
And that's really important. That's important to try to do, right?
What do you mean?
Because
Isn't this why the prison shows are so popular now?
Prison shows are
Oh.
popular?
Yeah, they humanize the
What?
prisoner.
Oh.
Even though they probably fucking almost they murdered 2 people. They they sit down, interview him, and you're like, this guy seems like an all right guy.
Oh,
He's
like all
no,
the true crime stuff now? Or
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. They got so many prison shows because they just had one come out on Netflix about the Sacramento County, and they've got the MSNBC's done Lockup for what, well over a decade, right? I mean, I guess this movie kind of falls into that category of like,
does it
trying to humanize the people that are very fucking awful people.
But so this is
on one side of them, but
for those prison shows, they're trying to humanize them, saying like the country has failed them. But I think this is
no.
Are they not? What are they trying to do?
No, they're not. They basically follow them. They try to give them a human story that that there's other parts of them besides what crime they did.
It is a documentary just about people who spent most of their lives in prison and will probably spend the rest of their lives in prison, kind of thing. And that I saw that on Netflix. I didn't watch it. I just saw that.
Yeah. It's
like for some reason the picture is of a lady who has a forked tongue.
Oh yeah, that's Monster. Hey, that one is something else. I'll tell you.
TC's seen all the prison shows.
Oh, I watched them all. Oh yeah, I watched them all because I always watch them. I'm like, all right, now I'm feeling better about all the dumb shit I do. I'm not doing it that far. I'm not that far down. And that's
why they're popular.
Not yet. Anyways, but I guess it touches on some of the same things that this movie does. Right? It tries to like give the other side of these personalities that were also very much murderers. And I don't know. I guess for me, I felt like I should enjoy it because I watch all the goddamn prison shows. But it wasn't. I don't know. Yeah, I just this one didn't resonate with me, whether it's a history book or a movie. So
yeah, I think there's a lot of things this movie could have done to make it more movie-like and entertaining throughout it, and I think it purposely didn't do any of that.
Yeah, right. Well, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, so what the director said too, and I don't know if I agree with this, and this is where like most of the controversy comes from, is that trying to humanize Hitler, like his point of view, the director's point of view is that it's easier to think of Hitler as a monster because it's easier to write it off as like, oh, he wasn't human. He was just some kind of.
I agree with that. I don't like this idea of, oh, he was just a devil, and that means that, oh, this could never happen again,
right?
And even to say that, oh, well, all those Germans were just idiots, and so that means that'll never happen again either.
Or just like all Nazis are inherently bad. You're
so
like, no,
what you're
not
saying
that
is that the generalization is not okay, no matter what happens.
Because then it doesn't it then makes it as if, oh, this isn't something that happens to normal people. Right. That means then we're all okay and we don't need to worry about or be terrified of this sort of thing just happening, say, to us.
No.
And I think that part is immensely important.
Yeah.
Because
it's like, hey, it's not that Germans are inherently evil. It's that humans are all capable of doing this terrible shit. And we need to be careful.
Yeah, exactly. Whether being a leader that's terrible or being a follower that's following a terrible leader, we are all capable of it. And to deny that is not good. Then we're not going to think about it. Then that means we're not going to try to understand it.
I'm not a Nazi, so I'm good. I can do whatever I want. Oh yeah, we're just going to go ahead and start killing people from other countries though. But we're not a Nazi.
No. But we'll put the immigrants in cages. That's okay.
Yeah.
But
children are dying there. It's fine though, because we're not Nazis. I mean, even though people are calling us Nazis, we kind of believe in the same things Nazis believe in.
Right. Yeah. There was, oh man, what was it? There was a Not the Onion subreddit, which it's like
Not the Onion subreddit.
Not the Onion subreddit.
So
what is that? Is that like ridiculous stories that should be the Onion?
Shall we let him explain?
No, I'm just gonna talk over him until I guess it. Ready?
Keep interrupting. Ready?
Going. Fine.
I did guess it right. I guessed it right the first try.
Yeah.
You probably did. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, but the Onion, the comedic newspaper that just it's satire all the time. But it's the idea. It's like, this could be in the Onion, but it actually isn't. But one of it, I think, I don't remember the context.
Wait, so this is a subpar Onion? I'm confused. Wait, so
I don't think that was a joke, John. I think TC's confused.
I'm confused. Yeah, so this is an onion that exists below the bar
other
of
onions.
the onion. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are we talking about? This is a fucking inception of the onion here.
I don't think TC read it. I don't think he does.
No, I don't read it at all. So
that's where the confusion is, John.
Yeah, sorry.
Going. So anyway, it was the ICE director on Reddit said that ICE can't be compared to Nazis because we're just following orders.
What does that mean? It doesn't make any sense.
That's the same thing.
Is that what he's saying? Is that the joke? That's the joke.
That's what's hilarious. Yeah, because that's what the Nazis could say, right?
Right over my head.
Following orders.
Yep.
There
you go.
There it is.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, they're just following orders. Someone told me to speak. I don't know where the voice was from, but There's Timmy over there. He's like, fucking do the German voice. Do the German voice. Fucking do the Tyson. What? Yeah, right. Just comes out, you know. There's nothing I can do.
All of a sudden, you
German
went from
Timmy.
not being able to do it to save your life to doing a pretty good one.
Channeling it through Timmy. That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's it. You got it right. I just have a second personality now spawning.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
If you had a choice between shooting yourself in the head and taking cyanide poison, what would you do?
Well, apparently they do both, right?
Maybe just
Because
time them both. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
all
why
right,
because
shoot.
they worry about one failing. So that because Hitler did both supposedly, right? Like cyanide plus gunshot.
That's because Hitler was afraid of pain.
Oh, I thought, or being captured.
No, pain. He was afraid of,
No,
he
it
was
was
afraid
pain.
of being captured because he didn't want his body being like presented and like,
Yeah.
mangled and shit. But he
Jesus.
also had a very real fear of pain his entire life.
So let's inflict it on everyone else so I don't have to have it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, real level-headed guy, this
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
huh?
fucking. Yeah, I don't know. Like Hitler crying. This movie has Hitler crying in it. It's fucking weird. It's definitely trying to show him as a human.
It shows it never. All it does show though at the same time, which is probably true, is he never reflects on himself or never admits any failure on his part. Everything is just somebody else's fault. Other people
Oh
are
yeah,
traitors.
when his like armies start failing,
Right.
he's just like, "You guys didn't listen to me. You've been talking behind
Right.
my back this entire time. You
Right.
fucked us."
Yeah, really
including the
insecure,
German
huh?
people, where he wasn't. He was fine. You know, he's again
Kind of reminds you of somebody else, doesn't it, guys?
kind of.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty
The
strange.
similarities are uncanny.
Strange.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, still can't make sense of it, but it's happening.
right.
So
Yeah.
okay, moving
Yeah.
on. Continue living life.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do, right? Still got to do what you have to do every day to support
Right,
yourself
so-
and your family. So.
Right. Yep. Still got a job to go to.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's maybe, what we're touching on is maybe that's what some of the, Germans were like back then. We're like, well, I mean, this guy's fucking out of his mind. I don't know. I still got to farm.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
got to fucking get food.
Yeah.
Kids still have to learn. They got to go to school. We got to do the shit we're supposed to do. Well, hail. Yeah, we'll just put our arms up. Whatever you got to do, just put your arm
Yeah,
up.
everyone can't go protest
Jews
all
are
the
bad?
time.
Are
Unless
we
you're like
Jews?
a
We're not
bad college
Jews.
student.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're good.
What are they again? I don't even know who they are, where they're from, whatever. Put your hand up. Put your hand up.
it's
Just
like,
put your
yeah.
hand up. Yeah.
Oh, is this what
Right.
we're doing now? Fine. Okay, whatever.
Cool.
I'm gonna go to Arby's. You guys want to come with?
Yeah.
Oh, the hand
Yeah,
up, hand
exactly.
up. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that, mundane. Yeah, we're gonna go to the rally, then we'll go to Arby's.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a 2-for-1 deal going on, and
They do.
seems
Yeah,
pretty
you know,
good.
I don't really like that roast beef. Though. I don't know why everybody likes it so much.
No, I kind of like this goosing we got going
Well,
on
did you
here.
know
It's
they
fun.
make
It's
it
like,
every-
whee!
Oh man, we are really trivializing all that.
Well,
I love it.
But-
I fucking love it.
No, it's
I wish I could
horrible.
have thought of these jokes while I was watching the movie. That was the thing. I realized I got to the end of the movie. I was like, fuck, I didn't write anything down besides like a couple of things, and they weren't even funny. I'm workshopping the bit to the wall. And it's like the wall's not even fucking having a good time.
Part of what the director said he was nervous about while making the movie was making it funny because, I mean, listening to him talk about the situations, since I know it's real, it would never be funny just because of that. But some of the scenes could be, if they were parody, funny. Like when the secretary is like writing Hitler's will, like she's typing it out, and then
right.
was it Goebbels comes in and he's like,
Yeah.
I need you to dictate
Oh,
my
yeah,
will. And she's
yeah.
like, I'm already writing Hitler's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
right. Like,
oh.
are you now?
It's like, oh
Yeah.
wait, this is real though, and they're both going to kill themselves.
Right.
Cool. That's not funny at all.
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
I was mad at the film that they had to show each and every child being killed.
Yeah, what was
Each
that? We
you
could have
mad
got
at the
the
film?
Damn it.
yeah, because
What?
we would have gotten the same. Because I'm with you, John. We would have gotten the same fucking result if they had
Yeah.
done one and then cut to Goebbels and the thing and her coming
No,
out and
I
sliding
disagree.
down.
I disagree.
I
with you.
understand the point, but I didn't want. I was like, stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
I
That's the whole
didn't-
point.
I
And
know.
it wasn't glorified. It wasn't like
Don't
there's no
like it.
music.
Although it did let up for that older one to like defy them, right, and say I don't want the pill.
well, yeah, but
Yes,
when she goes
yeah,
back in
yeah.
later and just like
Yeah,
each
but
one,
then
just
she's
pill in
out.
the mouth, crushed
Yeah.
in their teeth, they
Yeah.
like fucking
Yeah.
die.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I
know.
feel like, I mean, it wasn't cinematic or done really well, but I mean, the fact that it showed each one, I thought
I
was
know.
pretty damn
You
strong.
thought that was I mean, it is strong. I just don't know if I needed it.
I mean, I didn't want it, but you know,
yeah. But I guess that's
it was
why
one of the
it's
most
right
effective
thing to
parts of
do.
the movie, I think. I mean, everyone else shooting themselves in the head, I didn't give a shit. But then that scene happened and they really dwelled on it. And it was just like the fact that it made it so, if they had cut away, it would have been cinematic and it would have not felt as real. But it being so slow and showing like pretty much perfectly in time with how long it would take to do that sort of thing just made it feel like as
Okay, let's not talk
uneventful
about it.
and real. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
it really
it's
works.
a good point. He brings up a good point, though. I mean, I get
No,
it.
I agree
I'm with
too,
you,
but
John. I don't need it.
I don't need it. I didn't want it, but I thought it was good.
That's the
Yeah.
one thing that haunts me. I'm still going to be kind of haunted by this film. By I think
That scene.
long. Yeah,
That's what
long
they
after
wanted.
This
Yeah, for
is
sure.
over. I know those assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with the effectiveness either or the point. I still
The editorial was dead on. I guess.
yeah. I mean that's where it starts to be like it happened and this is what was done, but I can't even trying to humanize things or understand it. I can't even begin to get to that point where that's what you would do. I can't. That's then.
I think you have to be totally gone in the head.
Well, what I was thinking is, are there rumors that the Russians kill the kids too? There must have been.
no,
like,
it was because Goebbels' wife didn't want her kids living in a world without, National
Where the
Socialism.
Jews were in control
Oh,
or
wow.
whatever. Like she
I
fully
missed
just
that
bought
point.
in.
I thought it was because they didn't want her. They didn't want them
No,
to come in
there's
and
a
kill
scene
them.
where she's like
No.
in bed and she's like sick or something because she's
Oh, and she's
worried about
falling
the
apart.
kids.
Right.
Yeah, and
right,
one of the
right.
guys comes in. He's like, I can't believe that's what you think. But she's just laying there being like, my children can't live in a world without National Socialism.
Holy shit! I forgot about that. Yep, you're right. I remember that scene. What a fucking Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
I don't
And then she just
understand
goes
that one.
immediately from killing all 6 of them to like playing like solitaire or some shit. Just like stone faced.
Hey, Looney.
Yeah. I don't know. Fucking.
Yeah, I mean, fucking hey.
And
This
yet
is
these
like-
people kind of rise in the ranks. It's scary. They like get away with being normal people within the little world they create.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Terrifying shit. You guys want to talk about commentary?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. How was it?
It was great. The director did the commentary. It was extremely informative. He started off by saying he didn't prepare for it at all. He was just going to talk. But the dude's really smart. He talked a lot about what like the tone of the movie and what he was trying to do, which we've already talked about. But I think, I don't know, it worked pretty well. And he had some trivia. I would say if you like commentary tracks and if you are interested in like the actual history and where all this stuff comes from, it's really, really cool to watch this movie. I guess if you don't know and if you like commentary tracks, him going through and telling you every instance of how real this is, almost everything, like it word for word dialogue is exactly how it happened. Like there was no exaggeration to 95%, as much as they could get because they still went into rooms. He would point out small scenes like we didn't know what Goebbels' wife did in her bedroom when she went in there after the scene. So we just showed her putting on lipstick. And you're like, that doesn't matter at all. That's probably what she did. Who gives a shit? But
yeah,
like,
that
the rest of
lunatic
it,
probably did do that.
But that's like the extent of how things aren't true. And like the rest of it is true.
I just got a smash cut to fucking Steve Buscemi putting the lipstick on.
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought about when you said
There's
that.
some-
Instead of her,
Yeah.
it just went right to Buscemi. He's putting the lipstick on. I don't know. That's where my brain goes.
That's
Anything
good.
to think
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's some controversy about who actually killed the children and how it was done. Like on the wiki here on the children, it was said that they were injected with the morphine first, and that it was somebody else who administered the cyanide, not the mother.
That's not what the director said. So
Yeah,
the
I know.
director's
And-
not
and
like
other
the
thing is-
historical be all end all. So he could be wrong.
No,
but
I know, but there's also that there was talk apparently about like how the Soviet troops did treat the Soviets were not going to be kind.
You're just going to defend your first statement there, John, because you feel bad
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
what he's going with.
Yeah. We're not even talking about that one, but we're going back to it.
Punishment. Anyway,
Hey,
sorry. All right,
back
I'm
to
sorry.
that.
Go on with the commentary. I'm sorry.
No problem. It's crazy. The communication did last until the last day. They were able to do radio communication and telephone communication because they like buried the line so far underground. So the bombs didn't fuck that stuff up. So that's kind of amazing. I mean, you would think if you were in a bunker, you'd be cut off, but they were still getting like accurate reports of all the armies and stuff like that down in the bunker.
Which Hitler thought were all lies. So what's the point of having the
Yeah.
phone? Fuck
Yeah.
it. You might as well not. You might as well make it up. Yeah, we got a carrier pigeon and it says we're good, dude. Don't worry, we got this.
So the Parkinson's thing too was not known for a while. I mean, Parkinson's wasn't a named disease until the 50s. So people back when Hitler had it, or when people thought he had it, didn't know what it was.
They just thought he was anxious or what?
They
or they
thought
didn't even
he
know that.
just- I mean, I think back in I don't know what they did when they didn't know what things were back in the day. What do we do now?
They just accepted it,
I
probably.
guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, most people I think he had it. So that's what the shaking was.
Got the shakes.
Yeah. The actor who played it actually like watched and what he like talked to doctors and watched people with Parkinson's for his role to get it like dead on. And there was a document that was discovered in like the early 90s that was an audio tape that somebody secretly recorded of Hitler. It's the only recording of Hitler when he was calm because he didn't allow private pictures or private recordings of himself because he wanted like the angry yelling, whatever, you see him on the stage persona to be the only thing people
Right.
saw. But the main actor listened to this tape, it's him talking calmly for, I think it was like 15 minutes or something. And it's the only instance where you can hear him talk in a normal voice, just like a normal person. So he based all the other scenes where he was nice to people on that tape, which is like the only thing anyone would ever have to go on. That and like word of mouth and
Interesting.
stuff.
Pretty cool.
The movie was filmed in Petersburg, which is in Russia, because apparently that town looks exactly like Berlin used to look like in the 1940s.
Huh.
There were some digital effects. I don't know if you guys noticed.
No, really.
No,
I think for
no.
the buildings, though, right? I
The
remember.
buildings. They made some buildings look bigger than they actually were. And some of the bombs, the dust clouds, digital.
Yeah.
They built the
Okay.
sets. This director doesn't like removable walls, so they built the sets without removable walls because it forces you to shoot in a way that makes you feel confined, which
Cool.
makes it more difficult to shoot. But I think it probably works because I felt like I was in a bunker.
Yeah.
Also, no, it's all practical lighting. They didn't do any of the special behind the camera lighting to make people look better. They just replicated these bunkers as best they could and shot it with the lighting that they had. So
Nice.
the director thought he did a lot of research on it, so he wanted to share that he thought that all of the emotions that Hitler shows in this movie, just like anger, pity, charm, all that stuff, was all fake. And he's pretty sure, and this is just the director's point of view. I don't know if this is. I know nothing about Hitler, so this guy's smarter than I am,
Fair
but
enough.
other people listening could be smarter than him. So, but he thought it was all an act. He thought he was just like an actor, and he was really good at using those emotions to get what he wanted all the time.
A manipulator.
He's a
He
master
just didn't really
manipulator.
feel those things.
Yeah. That's how he got people to like him. That's how he got people to fear him. He did all the
Right, right.
things.
Which is why he didn't have a roadmap, didn't have any plans.
But
When
it
things
makes
started
some
falling
sense.
apart, he's a fucking
Right.
mess.
I mean,
He's
because if
nobody.
those emotions were real, it makes sense why. I mean, if those were all fake, then it does make sense why it's so easy for him to turn. To,
Yeah.
and immediately denounce. There's no he has no loyalty back. He has no real feelings back to the people other than getting them to like him. And so when it suits him, he can just immediately turn on anybody.
Right, and quit.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
kill himself easily.
Sure.
Don't
Well,
care.
there's that. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
maybe
don't
that's
surrender. Can't
and,
surrender.
Again, this is a movie, but maybe that's when like some of the people who have been with him forever have never seen him afraid, but then they see like fear in him, and that's when they're like, "Whoa, he's losing it. I've never seen this shit before. I think we're all
Right.
fucked.
Yeah, let's go fucking make peace because we might all die.
We're gonna go shoot ourselves in the head after smoking this weird cigarette."
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of fake hair and fake eyebrows in this movie.
Uh-huh.
I didn't notice any of it. Did you guys?
No.
Don't know.
Pretty
I
good
mean,
makeup.
Hitler's hair is always weird, so that you expect it to look weird.
Yeah, but like most people had fake hair because like if you look
really.
at pictures between the people who played the people in this movie, it's like crazy spot on. Everyone looks
Yeah.
the exact same as they did before. Yeah, the director was like, yeah, when you read all these things about it, like all these Nazis were like doctors and things like that, but the standards were so low just to get them to be doctors, so they would have like the public perception of being smart. But a lot of these people were really dumb.
No, really?
Yeah, really dumb. So it wasn't just
Wow.
like, I mean, you have smart people who are crazy. That happens.
All right.
But apparently, like, I think most, it's from the commentary of this one movie, sounds like a lot of them were just dumb and like they faked it for them so they could get away with
so
shit.
they could be, oh, wow. I mean, that kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Give them
Yeah.
a good title. They can do whatever they want.
yeah, if you're a doctor, people typically think you're smart,
Right.
right?
Yeah. But, I think Seinfeld has a joke, right? Like about that. Like, someone's got to be failing these classes. Like, someone's got to be getting the lowest grade in the class, right? There's got to be a C doctor somewhere. Even
Yeah, I think
though-
if you're passing,
know.
though, I think you're probably pretty good.
No, but even still, like, someone's got to be the lower end. They
Yeah.
can't all be amazing, I guess is what the joke was,
That's-
right?
yeah,
And
it's very true.
That makes sense, yeah.
I think that's it, you guys.
That's good.
It is good.
Thank God that's over.
Yeah. Whew.
Whew.
We have a lot of World War II movies coming up, so I mean,
Do
none
we?
of them, none of them are like this dark. I don't think.
Saving Private Ryan isn't that fun.
No, that's
When's that one
hilarious,
coming
dude.
out?
I
That's
love that
fucking
movie. I don't know.
hilarious.
I'm going to love
Yeah.
that movie because I always have. It's a fucking great movie. So
Yeah, that movie's a
I
little
will
more
have
of a
no problem
movie
with that
though.
one. Yeah,
little
it's
more
way more
spectacular.
dramatic.
It's more of a yeah. You're right.
I love when the sound goes dead and all you hear is like muffled. Yeah. Oh,
And it's just
dude,
Matt
it's great.
Damon crying, rocking back and
Oh,
forth.
That's fucking fantastic. Can't
So
wait.
good. So
Can't
good.
wait. Can't wait.
We're not watching that one next week though.
It's
Well,
Whatever we're
first.
watching. Oh yeah.
What are we
Do
watching?
you guys feel obligated to put this in the top 250?
That's- well,
No.
you
TC says
put
no.
that
I am not
very
putting
well.
it in the top 250.
Really? Okay, John.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really on the fence about it. I think it's a really well done movie, and it's important. Actually, I will go yes. I will lean yes because I do think I strongly believe in the idea of trying to understand or at least see things through the eyes of the people that supported him, and I think that's important. So
Yeah,
I'll
and
go
this
yeah.
movie doesn't do anything in terms of letting you. I don't think it has a point of view, right? It's not like this is
No.
what it is and this is how you should feel. It's kind of like
It's
feel
not trying
confused
hard.
about this.
No.
Feel very
Yes.
confused.
Right, And
'Cause I'm
that's-
confused.
That's actually not a bad thing.
No.
In this case,
I agree.
But I feel like that is the agenda. When we don't need to be confused.
We
Well,
do need to be
That's how I see
confused.
it. I don't. I think the guy's a piece of shit, and they all were. Fuck them. So I'm on the other side.
Yeah.
I'm not putting this in the top 250, and I'm not recommending it to anybody because I fucking hate the Nazis. And I think anyone is complicit, so fuck them all. I don't give a shit. I'm totally that asshole. So
I feel somewhat obligated to say yes, so I will. And also, I think just personally, probably, yeah, I'm on John's side. I mean, just listening to the commentary, I would recommend it. I know you guys don't listen to any of them, but it's like one of the better ones. Just the fact that it made it better. Like, Naomi didn't watch this movie with me, but she watched the commentary with me. And as soon as it was over, she's like, I want to watch the movie now.
wow.
Just because the
Then you're
commentary
like,
was so
don't
good.
bother.
No,
You
I
already
mean,
got enough.
yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah, so I could say this movie would not be that good if it wasn't entirely true. Right?
Yeah.
Not entertaining. I don't know. Whatever.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's again.
I mean that's something.
I wouldn't call it
Something.
entertaining, but as we said, we've used the word engaging a lot because it was.
That's a good. I think that's a good word for it. That's a good word for it.
I think
I
it's the
was
first time in
engaged.
my life I've ever separated the word entertaining and engaging.
Ooh, we're compartmentalizing movies now,
Yeah,
man. This
that's
list
true.
is fucking us up.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Better end this episode
Yeah.
right now.
Funny part though is that I was going through lists. I'm like, fuck, we only got 100 movies left. That's a lot of movies left. And I was like, wait, that's actually fucking 2 more
ton.
years.
I'm
it's a ton
surprised.
of
I'm
fucking
surprised we got
movies.
this far.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not 100. It's 117.
We'll go with 100.
And next, so
I don't-
number
I don't do math.
117, you guys.
yeah.
You guys ready for this?
What's
What's
this?
We're watching the 1980s movie Raging Bull, directed by Martin Scorsese.
Hey, I'll take that.
The
I
life
like
of
that.
boxer Jake LaMotta, as the violence and temper that leads him to the top in the ring destroys his life outside of it.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
That's a good one.
With-
I like that one.
De Niro and Pesci and
Hey.
nobody else I recognize. All right, let's watch this movie next week, you guys.
Now, what they should have done was had those guys do the Nazi movie. That would have been something. That's the parody. Pesci
You
and
talking
fucking
to me?
De Niro.
You talking to me?
What are you talking about? Berlin's going down. Fuck you. We're not doing that. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I'll watch Raging Bull again.
I'll watch
Shit.
that. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
because you're forced to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, right.
You have no choice.
Yeah.
You have no choice.
Don't pretend
Sit
like you have a
down.
choice in this.
Sucker yourself to the desk and watch the movie. Stand. What? Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Got it.
I'm
Daddy.
glad. John
No
laughed at that
worries.
one. We're keeping
No
it in.
worries.
It's not offensive
I'm
enough where John
sorry.
feels scared about it. We're keeping it in there. Thanks, John.
Fine.
I
You're
know. I'm
welcome.
comparing you to the Nazis. That's
Oh,
why he's laughing.
dear
yeah.
God.
Yeah, well, Danny can be, yeah.
All right.
All right.
See you later.
Next
everybody.
week.
Yeah,
Later, guys.
next week, guys.
Thank you.